interpreting art is really huge for me. And I didn't realize how much of an impact it made on me until recently, man. Like, and this is gonna sound crazy, but I didn't cry until I heard "United in Grief" by Kendrick, and it was literally, I don't know if anybody heard the new Kendrick album.
Oh, for sure.
Song number one, "United in Grief." And it was literally just the "I grieve different," and then the drums come in, and then the guitar comes in, and I literally like and it wasn't one of those like right, but streams came out. My face was making them involuntary, like, you know what I'm saying?
It hit different, man. It hit different.
It hit. And so as you're talking to me about like when I feel my happiness, it's really when I'm like interpreting art.
Welcome back to the Rise of Black Fathers, everybody. It's your boy Corn. I got my boy JJ right over here.
Yes, sir.
We got a special topic that we're going to touch on with happiness, bringing in the homie Tunde, as you've seen before and you're going to see again. Yeah. But before we get into all that, I know JJ has something he wanted to say. What's up?
Yeah, man, I know you just took a nice little trip with your baby girl, man, back home to meet the fam. So just want to touch on that, man. How was that? How was all that? Let's talk about it a little bit.
Man, that shit was beautiful. Every time that we come back, she's getting older and older, and I have a nice amount of cousins her age and a niece. They all right in that same ballpark, and just to see that little girl, just fit right in.
Yeah.
And the love there, I swear to God, that the bond that she has with her cousin, that shit is so sweet. And I'm talking about they two leaders, two powerhouses in general. So just seeing those personalities clash and love on each other and kind of go from there, that shit was beautiful, man. She had a great time. I loved it. And shit, I know I don't want to have no more than 2 kids with me at any given time, but I endured in the meantime. But yeah, man, that shit was beautiful.
Yeah, y'all working. I have the luxury of following your mom on Facebook, man, and she was loving it, man. Every day, every hour, she was posting her grandbabies and them all together, and they all look alike. You got some strong genes, man.
Mama got some strong genes.
Hey, damn, strong genes.
6 boys, and the girls look like her.
Yeah,
that shit crazy.
That's what's up. But yeah, man, that was dope, man. Well, shit, man. Like you talked about, we got our boy Tunde. We're gonna jump into this topic of happiness, man. Let's drop him in here, man. Yes, what's good, bro?
How y'all feeling?
Feeling great, man. How you feeling?
I'm actually in an interesting place, man.
Okay.
A friend of mine died. Sunday. Yeah.
How you doing?
I don't know. It's tough because I've heard. You don't know how many times I've heard that question. And every time I struggle to answer, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I feel mostly what I feel is, even if I told you, I don't know if you would understand. You know what I'm saying? And so it's really just been, I'm getting through it, talking about it, as things come up. But yeah, I don't know, man. It doesn't feel real to me, not at this point. It still feels like she's here. And then I saw her GoFundMe page, and that's kind of what sent me over. Like, wow, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's interesting that this is what we're talking about today. Cause, you know what I'm saying, what I'm going through. But I'm here to be open, man. I'm here to be open. I'm here to learn. Here to be in the moment.
I didn't even know that. So, condolences to you, man. I can't even imagine. But I'm curious, bro. And if it's not something you can answer, we can move on from it. It ain't nothing like that. But I'm just curious, as someone who understand the privilege, and it hasn't really experienced close loss. How would can someone like me be a support system for someone that like you that's what you're going through? Because I've always struggled with that department. I don't know if you can answer that, but I was just curious since it happened. How would someone in my situation can help you kind of get through this moment?
I think this is definitely specific to me. I like to process things internally. Like I like to sit and think with my stuff. Like even right before this meeting, somebody called me and was trying to check in on me, but I had nothing to say because nothing was there. Right, I'm still trying to like figure stuff out. Like earlier today, I talked to her boyfriend because it's me and him cool, and like, I'm gonna meet up with him tomorrow. We're gonna chill, whatever. And then shortly after that, like I cried. I like, and it felt good. Like I was waiting for that moment because I feel congested. Right, I feel congested, and I needed a release of some sort. And so, like, I cried, and I felt better. I felt way better. But then after that, it was kind of like, okay, cool, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And so when I'm on the phone with the homie, I'm just like, yeah, I'm chilling, whatever. You sure? And it's like, yeah, yeah, right? Like, to the best of my ability, like nothing's coming up in this moment. And if it did, I'd definitely say something. But I would just say, just being available, letting people know that you're available, and just being available is some of the ways in which, like, I appreciate support. Because sometimes it gets overwhelming trying to figure out what you're going through, and then people are like, "Hey, you okay? You okay? Hey, you?"
Yeah.
Like, shut up! Like I don't want that right now. Like let me figure my stuff out, and then I'll come to you when I'm ready. But that's one of the ways. That's probably the most effective for me.
I want to tell you this, then, Tunde. Not going to say fortunately. Unfortunately, I have experienced a lot of death in my family, from close ones to even friends. And not going to say it gets any easier, but one thing that I have seen from not only experience myself, but through close loved ones, is that grief process. And that shit, there really is no time frame on it. It's different for everybody, depending on, I don't know how close you is with these people. Everything hit different. So what you touching on, just being available for that person, you never know how they feeling it. Just as touching on real quick, my mom's still losing her mom, and her grandma, my grandmama's still grieving today. And this shit happened years ago. So you just never know how long it takes. But as long as you genuinely there for that person, and it's all love, it is what it is. Don't feel like you need to rush or whatever the case. You got to do, process that shit, do what you got to do. And they say time heals all, but I think with time you're able to tolerate it a little bit better. Ultimately, you got two brothers that's here for you whenever you want to talk. It's all good. I said I need to get your number earlier.
I'll give it to you, brother.
Hey, it's all to the good though. Yeah. But for real, I ain't saying we got to dive. That's something for another time. Sure. Unless you got some shit you want to get off on your chest right now, it's all to the good.
And to be quite honest, man, like I think this is all by design. And I'm just here to be present, because like I was struggling this whole time. So I'm on vacation. And I didn't have anything planned. I just needed some time off work.
Man, it's all good.
Right. And so, her death came mid-vacation. And so I just haven't been able to kind of like, nothing feels enjoyable. Nothing seems exciting. Nothing. And that's how I knew it affected me. Because at first I was just like, oh, yeah, whatever. But now I'm at a place where it's just like, yeah, I don't even, things don't feel real. And so I think it's intentional for us to be talking about what we're talking about today, considering the context of what I've been experiencing. So I'm just here to be present. I'm here to be open, see what happens.
Shit. That's what's up. I think that's a great segue, Kwan. Let's jump into that video.
The very crux of your happiness and your well-being is this. If at all, if you're unhappy, The only and only reason why you're unhappy is life is not happening the way you think it should happen. That's all it is. So if life is not happening the way you think it should happen, you're unhappy. If life happens the way you think it should happen, you're happy. It's as simple as that.
What's your opinion on that? What you done heard?
I think it kind of reminded me of have you heard of the law of attraction?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just confirming that information for me, which I think I needed to hear because I do this thing where I create world. I tell people I create parallel universes. You feel me? You think the Marvel universe got something you ain't seen nothing. I can create worlds out of a scenario, and it seems like people who can and I don't like the way he said it, but if people who can make the commitment to wanting something or desiring something without thinking about or without contextualizing it as impossible are the people that make a way. And so it's just a difficult practice of not thinking of the barriers and giving up, right? Like I want $1 million. But then it's like I make X amount of dollars a year per year. I don't have any businesses or assets to my name. I have more debt. This seems impossible, right? Like that's usually the train of thought of how it goes. But he's saying like, no, just focus on what you want, and then it's gonna come true.
I think for me, man, it was all of that you just said, but also just to simplify it, I kind of kept going back to glass half full mindset. Dwelling on the positive, not focus on the negative, focus on what I can control, things of that nature, not focusing on, like you're saying, what I don't want or what can't happen. Focus on what I want and what can happen. And, personally, when I found when I do that, good things happen. There's always good. There's always a learning situation. There's always a way to progress and grow with whatever experience I may have, no matter how negative it may look on the surface. When I think about what I can take from this and how I should look at this, I usually grow in some way, shape, or form. So to me, that's what I kept coming back to as I was listening to that video. What about you, Quan? You found the video and brought it to the space. So like,
why you pray for us?
I interpret that as until you reach that version of yourself that you truly want to be, then you'll be at your happiest form. And to me, it's more inwards, not outwards. So it's that getting to that place inwards and that version of myself that's going to bring me the most happiness, the most happiness.
Good, man. It's all about gratitude for what you already have. Simply because and I know for me specifically, I'm literally in the place that I've always wanted to be in. And even though at this point there are different levels that I've unlocked, different things that I want, just being able to say like, I'm grateful to have my own space because I've always wanted my own space. I'm grateful to not have to worry about bills, right? Like I pay my bills and I just be like, they paid, right? Right. Like there was a point in time in my life where I was like, okay, cool. So if I take money from this and if I skip this payment, I'll take the late fee on this to pay off that, right? Like I ain't got to do none of that no more. I don't got to do the math equation of paying bills. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I got to touch on that real quick, man. Me and the homie Justin was just talking about that shit when he came down here to visit on that gratitude. Like niggas ain't worried about paying their bills right now. That's something, there's so many people in the world that don't got that luxury. And that's some shit that, I ain't even gonna lie, I just came over, I'm still coming over this little sickness, but I was having problems smelling out my damn nose. And I was like, bruh, you don't even, it be the little things that we just take for granted. Man, it just be the smallest things. My bad to cut you off, bro. I had to let that go.
Being thankful that you got every tooth in your motherfucking mouth, or the ability to see, or the ability to stand up. Like you are a self-sufficient human being, and that's enough to sit and be thankful for, right? Like, I mean, and even if you weren't, right, even if you did have to rely on people, you're still alive and able to experience what you need to experience. So being thankful for that. It starts off with that gratitude. Then from there, it's kind of just like, okay, cool. I can focus on the things that expanding my gratitude, right? Like, because if you're not happy with where you are and grateful for where you are, it's hard for you to just be focused on what you want. You know what I'm saying?
I think y'all something I always forget, and you know how we started this call with what you shared Tunde. You know, being grateful that you woke up.
Hmm.
You know, like there's sometimes I'm complaining about. I mean, I always go back to like I don't want to work out. Like, be grateful that you can. You know, like be careful, grateful that you can walk. Like little things like that just made it seem like to me it changed my mentality. Like not I have to. I see it all the time. You know, not I have to do this, but I get to do this. I get to do that. Like changing just that one word can really just change the whole mindset and changes my mindset personally of no, I have the privilege, you know, I have the luxury to get into a car and can drive to work. I'm not taking public transportation. I have the luxury of having parents that'll look out if I need to go half on a bill and my car just broke down. Like those are luxuries and privileges that not everybody can have. So I can complain about, oh, I gotta pay this, that, but look at what I do have, you know? So like changing that mindset, you kind of forget, you take things for granted until they're gone.
That's the key word you said right there. That mindset. It changes everything. I don't know if y'all have ever seen a little meme, but it's like these people riding a bus. One person's looking at the mountain and all they, you know, they having a piss poor ass day because that's all they seeing. And the other person is looking outside and enjoying the nature and, you know, living in the present. And it's like you both are in the same place, but there's two complete different emotional responses based on how you look at life. And that comes down to that mindset. One thing that we all know, and let's just keep it 100, we all gonna die one day.
Yeah, man.
And I personally am not grateful enough every day for being able to get up and do what I need to do and magnify these passions and these natural born talents and shit that I got. I'm gonna keep it 100.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And you know, also just like as you started off with the video, like expanding your happiness, or because there was a desire in that example of like wanting something more. Like I do think that that's a part of it. So there is a conversation of gratitude and being thankful for what you have, but then also growing in that in your graciousness. And we talked about this in the last one we were in, but like building on your passion, right? Like you are here to do something for a reason, whatever you see fit. And then operating in that brings some level of happiness to you as well. You know what I'm saying? And so like whether it's building the impact of it or taking care of more people or, you know, being able to provide yourself with something, like all of that, I feel like is connected to happiness or the journey of being happy.
I think that's a good segue into one of our questions, man. Like, when are you your happiest? Maybe we can think about it a little bit, but like, or even I'll jump in first. You know, I think for me, I'm my happiest when I'm doing what I want to do. And it sounds weird, but there was a point in my life, and I always, you know, touch on this where I was living my life through others. I was living my life for others. Everything I did was to think, oh, is my mom gonna like this? Or oh, how people gonna think if I do this? Oh, should I be doing that? And the moment I stopped doing that, I was at peace. You know, because I did what I wanted to do. Whether the things didn't work out, whether it worked out, only person you can blame in that moment is yourself. It's easy to point the blame if you're doing something for other people. Like, oh, like I knew I shouldn't have did that. I should have trusted my gut, whatever it may be. So for me personally, it's whenever I'm doing what I want to do. And
Right.
as simple as that sounds.
Now that's very deep. Do you got one, or do you want me to jump in real quick and give you a little more time?
Hey, go for it.
I'm my happiest when I am traveling to a place I've never been, experiencing things I've never done or love to do with loved ones, and sharing that bond and that experience together. Because those are memories that's gonna last a lifetime. The money gonna come and go, but it's like those experiences is what makes me so motherfucking happy. I'm living in the now. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm not, I'm doing what the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
And that shit right there, bruh, that shit hits so different. So I'm looking forward to Cancun. Any other motherfucking shit that we done did, I'm looking to see the world and experience everything. And that's what makes me my happiest. And you can tell just because I'm getting hyped up just talking about this shit right now. For real. So that's where I'm headed to in my life, to get myself to a place where I can financially be on autopilot, get enough passive income, get about that rat race, if you know about Rich Dad Poor Dad, and be able to go do the things that I truly want to do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get like that. I'm trying to be like you.
Shit.
I'm trying to be like you.
Let's get like us then.
Let's do it.
I'm telling you, for real.
For me, I want to say when I'm like, it's a combination of things. So when I'm reading a good story, and this shit is exciting, like, and it's funny because I was when you first asked the question, I'm like pilfering through my mind, like, what? But it's really these moments where like I'm talking about something and it really resonates with me, whether it be a story or a movie or whatever, and I'm able to like break it down and talk about its implication. Like interpreting art is really huge for me, and I didn't realize how much of an impact it made on me until recently, man. Like, and this is gonna sound crazy, but I didn't cry until I heard "United in Grief" by Kendrick. And it was literally, I don't know if anybody heard the new Kendrick album.
Oh, for sure.
Song number 1, United in Grief. And it was literally just the I grieve different, and then the drums come in, and then the guitar comes in, and I literally like and it wasn't one of those like, right? But streams came out, my face was making them involuntary, like, you know what I'm saying?
It hit different, man. It hit different.
It hit. And so as you're talking to me about like when I feel my happiness, it's really when I'm like interpreting art. Like I really enjoy I went on a date before and we went to an African American art museum, and I'm sitting there just excited about breaking down the art pieces and talking about the color theory and understanding why they did this and what emotions are coming. Like that's honestly my shit. Like I love
dope. Shit, when I come out there and visit, I'm trying to hit up one of them. Shit, I love art like that too. So let's do it.
I got a couple.
Go ahead.
I was saying I got a couple places.
It's all good. Shit, we don't do that.
That's interesting. Y'all brought that up and y'all both hit on that because that just reminded me, bro. You said color theory, and when I was in grad school, we learned about how marketers use colors to get people interested in whatever they're talking about. And I swear to God, bro, that was the most fascinating concept that I ever experienced. And then I started noticing it, like when I saw commercials and I saw music and like the Apple commercial with all the different colors splashing. And I'm like, yo, I've never realized how much of an impact color has. Man. And I'm not going to lie, after that, even though I'm wearing all black now, I put more color in my wardrobe.
Really?
And it made me feel like different, like people notice, like people are like, oh, that's a dope color you got, and I'm like, oh, I might keep wearing this olive green then, I might get a little bit more olive green, like
compliments all people of color.
I have some bright orange shorts. Ooh, that's a different color. Like, I know it is. Like let me throw some color into this. So that's interesting that y'all both touched on that. I never really thought about it, but yeah, man, colors, that's dope. Interpreting art, man. I never thought about it like that. Interpreting art, man. And that Kendrick album, I know I'm going long, but that Kendrick album was one of the first albums. Because if you ask me, I'm hip hop. I'm not hip hop. I'm R&B through and through. That Kendrick album was like, okay, maybe I need to give this hip hop a little chance. Maybe I'm not. maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm so anti that I'm not even giving it a shot. And like that album was deep, man.
Yeah, man. And he I want to say the art was in the madness, was in the imperfection. Like that was the art. You know what I'm saying? He was just being 100% honest with the world. Now, and you think about that liberation, right? Like these burdens you were trying to hide from everybody, you ain't got to hide no more.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and then people are using these stories to like heal themselves. You know, I know I definitely, and I want to get into like sound theory. I don't even know if that's a thing, but I don't know why.
Oh, for sure.
I'm like having conversations with people. I'm talking to people. I'm talking to, you know, her boyfriend. I'm hearing him cry. I'm hearing other people like go through it emotionally. But for whatever reason, I hear that song and it activates something in me. So I'm just curious to know, like, and then if sound theory is a thing, right? How did he know to put that in?
It is definitely a thing. That's what I want to hit real quick, bro. From that video that I sent or that we watched earlier, they had like some thetas in the background that like amplify it, and they recommend listening to with headphones because they're like, it's like meditation music. It's that sound therapy. They have these different hertz and, you know, shit, that wavelengths that just make us feel a certain type of way. So you on to something. You gonna need to look into that a little bit more. And it goes into our music though. Just think about it. You know, when you got like Michael Jackson, some shit that'll just boost you up and have you upbeat, whatever. Then you got them songs that'll have you sad as fuck. It's all in, you know, the beat, how they lay that shit together. That's all sound therapy. Man. That United in Grief, like you said, with the beats, the guitar and shit, that shit was pulling that shit out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
It's dope because I mean, when I think about it, since we're on this topic, like there's certain types of music I must listen to depending on what I'm doing. I have music for running. I have music for lifting. I have music for leg day, upper body day. I have music for studying. I have music for driving. Like,
but all of this is in the realm of R&B. Like, where you gotta hit.
There was a point your boy was squatting heavy to R&B. I'm gonna just keep it 100, bro.
How green in
the I have some old school shit dropping in the ears, and I couldn't go as heavy though. I will admit I couldn't go as heavy with it. But when I think about it, man, like it calmed me. And I think my mind, kind of what I was telling you before, I did so much for other people. I was constantly on 10 of, am I studying? Am I making money? Am I going to class? What's next? That time where I put on them headphones and the violin comes in and somebody's singing at a high tune, it calmed me. And I never realized it, but that's why I gravitated to it so much, because outside of it, my mind was always going 100 miles a minute. But when I put that R&B, that slow, that 90s, whatever it was, love music, whatever you want to call it, sappy music, whatever, it slowed that shit down, and time was just passing by, and I needed that time to reset. It was my way of meditating. I didn't even realize it, but it was my way of meditation.
I agree.
And peace is so powerful. when you
can't, that's crazy. It is.
when you talk about like even Bruce Lee, you know, when you get to that place of just being calm and you can react the way, like you're not tense. So then when you do make those movements or working out, whatever, and you're at a calm mode, you're very fucking powerful at will. Learning and developing that takes time, but that's some ancient art for your ass real quick. We'll get on that another time.
Right, and bro said, "Look, I'll give you a tidbit, but you got to subscribe for more."
I'm telling you, shit. Ding. For sure. We got a lot going on. God damn. Man. Shit. Well, man. Anybody else got something else they want to put out into the universe?
I don't, man. I this was a different call, man. I think
it was very different than what was anticipated, but that's the beauty of just rolling with it. And you know, I appreciate you, Tunde, coming in. And one thing that I do want to touch on is like, we had these topics and shit that we have in mind and questions lined up. But I mean, shit, we still human at the end of the day. So when you come on and you got some shit that's more important than us, continue that topic. Like we just gonna flow with it.
Yeah. Let's do it. And I appreciate y'all allowing me to be honest. I kind of, and I wanted to take advantage of the space because I wanted to see where I would go. I'm really going to just see how I feel after this call too. But like, I knew I need community. Like, I know I need community.
Yeah.
And so when you were just like, okay, cool, let's get on this call. Because I didn't feel like calling nobody. I didn't feel like talking to nobody. And it was kind of like me wanting to hold myself accountable to being here. That was that allowed me to be able to tap into community and just be like, okay, cool, look, this was just on my mind.
Yeah.
And we still got some happiness in there, right? Like it wasn't no boohoo call all the way through.
I think
it's needed though.
I think it's moments like this that allows you to appreciate what we so call happiness.
For sure.
You got to stop and you got to reflect on these moments, because if everything is good, peaches and roses, you don't appreciate it. Kind of like what we were saying, you take it for granted.
Yep.
So we definitely appreciate you coming on here, man. This is a community, this is a safe space. We got a long weekend up, man. Hit me up whenever. I'm right down the street, whatever you may need, bro. So like, we definitely appreciate it, man.
I appreciate y'all.
Hey, once you get about this, life is a roller coaster. So whenever you feel like you're at your lowest point, the only thing to go is up. But while you down there though, seek to understand. Go within, seek to understand, and you got brothers that got your back that's gonna help you ride that way back up too. So I mean, shit. Go ahead. What was you about to say, my brother?
No, I was gonna say I sent you my number in the chat, so hit me up whenever.
I got you.
I'll definitely tap in with y'all, man. I appreciate the space. Appreciate y'all listening.
Always.
I just want to say as we end, man, it's important. I know when I was younger, these questions that y'all asked throughout the episode, it came so easy for me to answer these because like I took the time to reflect. Had I been 20 and you asked me these questions, it'd be like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And so I just want to highlight the fact that like, take inventory of what makes you happy or when you feel the happiest. What does happiness feel like, look like? Where do you fit into your own happiness? Like these are important things for you to have to like process. And it might be hard if you're struggling, if you're navigating, if your focus is elsewhere, but you persevere, you keep to it, you'll get the answers, man. But these are some really important questions for you to just understand. These are very important, basic questions you should understand about yourself.
I want to ask you one more question to lead out. It's probably most important. What would you say to somebody who is either grieving now or will be in the future? What is a tip of advice that you'd want to give to somebody feeling that shit right now?
Hey, look, feel whatever you feeling. Let that shit come up. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no need to hide it. Ain't no need to fight it. Like, and I tell people this all the time. Human beings have evolved with emotions for a reason. If emotions weren't important, we wouldn't have them at all. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you feel like crying, let that shit out. If you feel like yelling, screaming, whatever, let that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Just do what you feel like you need in the moment. And then, when you feel ready to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. Those are the only two things. Because I went for a drive. Another thing, get out of your usual habit, your routine. Because I went for a drive around the city, even though gas is like $1 million a gallon. I got on the freeway. I let my sunroof down or whatever. I got a CRV, though. I ain't got no expensive car.
All right.
And sitting in the sun, man, it really had an effect on me. I didn't even think about it until a little while while I was driving. Like sitting in the sun, I felt the warmth. I don't know what it was. I really can't. The
sun is medicine.
I agree. I believe it, bro, 100%. Because when I was in the car, I just felt better. When I was like sitting in the sun rays, I just felt better. I really don't know how to describe it. So that'll be it. You know what I'm saying? Get outside, get under the sun, feel what you feel when you feel it. I don't care if you're grocery shopping and you feel like crying, cry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Cry. And then, when you're ready to talk, make sure you got some people that you can talk to.
Man, that was
wise
great
words from Tunde.
Appreciate that. Like always, man. Follow us at Rise OBF, all social platforms, man. Again, bro, we appreciate you being here, man. Always bringing words of wisdom, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.